Good morning, class.
Good morning, Miss Davis.
Let's stand and begin with our sentences for today. Today we're going to be saying our sentences, and I want you to turn around in a circle after each sentence. Ready? Begin. Will you bring some ice cream when you come?
Will you bring some ice cream when you come?
Will you take some ice cream when you go?
Will you take some ice cream when you go?
Bring me that book when you come.
Bring me that book when you come.
Take this book to Mr. Smith, please.
Take this book to Mr. Smith, please.
Take Pete the dictionary, 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 please.
Bring the dictionary here, please.
Bring the dictionary here, please.
This person who wrote these sentences knows how to use their manners. Will you take this book to the library, please?
Will you take this book to the library, please?
Will you bring me a book from the library?
Will you bring me a book from the library?
May I take this book home, Mrs. Smith?
May I take this book home, Mrs. Smith?
May I bring a book from home, Mrs. Smith?
May I bring a book from home, Mrs. Smith?
Thank you for those sentences. You may be seated. You should have out on your desk a blank sheet of lined paper and a pen, and we are going to copy down the sentence that you see that I have on my PowerPoint. Go ahead. I want you to copy this paragraph down, and you're going to notice that not everything in this paragraph is correct. So what I want you to do is to take the next couple minutes, copy it down, and fix what you see in it, and then I will call on some sharp students to tell me what they fixed in this paragraph. Oh, it's backwards. Oh. And I'll be walking around to see. I love how Susie is working on this. When you finish, you can put your pencils down so I know that you're done. Your pens, excuse me. Don't worry, keep it up. All right, as we are finishing up, I want us to start correcting this paragraph. So, Susie, I want you to stand and read that first sentence for me.
My dog Blackie was born in the summer.
So, what is wrong with that sentence? We can see on our PowerPoint that something isn't right in this sentence. So, what was the first thing you decided to fix?
Capitalize the first letter of Blackie.
What?
Because it is a name.
It is a name. That is correct. Was born in the summer. Was anything else wrong with this sentence?
Some S first in the summer should not be capitalized.
Good job. I was trying to trick you, but S in the summer should be capitalized. Read the second sentence for us. Go for it. I'm just getting it on camera.
We used to sit all day beside Lake Michigan.
We used to sit all day beside Lake Michigan. What should we fix about that sentence?
Capitalize lake.
Yes, because the whole thing is what?
A place.
The whole thing is a place. It is a body of water.
Yeah.
So we capitalize lake because it is part of the title. When September came, Blackie's eyes seemed to say, "Do you really have to go to school?" Wow, there are several things that need to be fixed in this sentence. I'm looking for a sharp student to get the entire sentence correct. If they do, they get to pick from my jelly bean jar, which is my shiny jelly bean jar. And there are also some Skittles in there. The color of the day is green. So, Tim, how about you try to tell us, what did you fix in the whole sentence? When September came, Blackie's eyes seemed to say, "Do you really have to go to school?"
September should be capitalized.
Yes.
You need a apostrophe.
Yes. N apostrophe. Remember.
An apostrophe for Blackie because it's his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need quotation marks for where Blackie would be talking.
So where would they start?
It would
Seem
start
to
before
say-
do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Are you missing anything else between the say and do?
a comma?
A comma is correct. So it'd be say, comma, open quotes.
And then close quotes after school, and school should not be capitalized.
Is that all? Seem to say, "Do you really have to go to school?" I think you might have missed one, but I see it on your paper.
Question mark. at the
Yes.
end.
Good catch. I missed that one, but I see another one on your paper that's right on your paper, so I know you have it right. What do you do with do?
You capitalize it.
Yes, you capitalize it. That was a lot in that sentence, and you did a very good job. You had the whole thing right on your paper, and thank you for explaining it to the class. So you may go and get a jelly bean or a Skittle from our jar. And you can go and get one if you want to. What would you fix for the next sentence, Carl? June finally arrived. I announced to Blackie I am home to stay. Now Blackie and I are once again relaxing by the lake. That is a really long sentence, and I think that there are more than one sentences mixed in there. So how would we fix this?
Capitalize June.
Mm-hmm.
Capitalize I.
Mm-hmm.
Quotation marks. Well, after Blackie, put a comma and then quotation marks around I am home to stay,
Yes.
and then put a period after stay.
And then if you had open quotes and he's finishing talking, you need...
Yeah, that's why I said it wasn't round. But
Oh, sorry. Yes, close quotes. I missed that. However, I want us to think, I announced to Blackie I'm home to stay. Would that be a period at the end, or do you think he's a little bit more excited than that?
Probably
A little bit more.
So it would be an exclamation point.
Yes, an exclamation mark. And for our last sentence, now Blackie and I are once again relaxing by the lake. Is there anything we need to fix, or is it good?
Capitalize Blackie.
Yes. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is one other problem with this sentence. Can any sharp student raise your hand and tell me what is missing? Oh, I see you're thinking. A relaxing by...
Lake should not be capitalized.
That is correct. The lake should not be capitalized because right now it's not talking about Lake Michigan. It's just talking about a lake. So we no longer have to capitalize it because it is not part of of a title or a body of water's name. And yes, you would close it with a period. Thank you for your hard work. Go ahead and put that sheet of paper away and clear your desk and don't have anything out. We have been talking about in language class going on road trips. Now, where have you been to on a road trip before, Susie?
Tennessee.
You've been to Tennessee? Was it? What did you do? Why did you go there?
We were visiting some friends.
Cool. What about you? What about your road trip, Carl? Have you ever been on a road trip?
Yeah, we went to where did we go?
Was it a park?
Yeah, we did go to a short park that was near our house.
There you go. Well, any sort of road trip that you go on, there has to be somewhere that you're going to, correct? So I went on a road trip, and I went on a road trip from the city of Salem, the capital of Oregon, and I went all the way down to Los Angeles, California. Me and my family took that road trip. We went from Salem on the road, and we went to California to see my grandparents. Well, this actually helps us know what to do in our sentences today. Today I'm going to be introducing a new topic for our sentences. We have learned about our subjects and our verbs, and now we're going to learn about something else. Bless you. Do you need a Kleenex? Okay. If you need a Kleenex, you would just raise your hand and cover your nose like this, and you just point to the Kleenex box, which is in the drawer. And then you can have one. So I forgot to tell you that. So for today, we're going to be learning a new concept on our road trip. So we've learned about verbs, and we've learned that there are more than one type of verb. Name a type of verb. Action, linking, or helping. Name one of those three.
Linking.
Linking. So we've learned that a linking verb will link whatever the rest of the sentence is back to the subject. And our linking verbs are am, is, were, was, have, has, do, does, did, all of those. Our other verbs that we've learned are called action verbs and helping verbs. And helping verbs often will help the rest of the verb flow in the sentence and support it to help it do its work. Well, today we're going to be talking about action verbs. Now, we all know what an action verb is. An action verb is a verb that
shows an action.
Shows an action. That is correct. So, in today's class, we're going to be looking for action verbs. And when we get to an action verb in any road trip, if we get to a stop sign, we have to stop, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Never skip a stop sign. I drove once, and I was driving in a very, very, very strict location where there are probably about 10 cops for every part of the road. And I didn't quite stop at a stop sign. I was distracted, and I was lost. And the cops were super, super nice, and they helped me get to where I was going. But they had flashed their lights at me and said, "You didn't stop at this stop sign all the way. You need to do that next time." And I said, "I am so sorry, ma'am. I am so lost. I have no idea where I am." And I was looking at my navigation to see if it would load and tell me where to go. And they took me to where I needed to go, and it was all fine. But whenever you learn to drive, make sure you stop at those stop signs. Well, today in class, when we see a verb and we see an action verb, we're going to stop. Because this is where our road splits into two pieces. So you go up the road, you see your verb, and you stop, and you check, and you see what type of verb is it. If it is a linking verb, we're going to go that direction. If it is an action verb, we're going to go that direction. Now, our verb is us driving on the road. Let's just picture it that way. We are the subject. Now, if we are driving, we drove, well, that's okay, but it's not very specific. If I was trying to meet you somewhere, you wouldn't say, "We drove," or "We will be driving," and then expect me to meet you somewhere. I don't know where you're going. I will not know how to meet you if I'm trying to find you somewhere. But if you said something along the lines of, "We drove to lunch." Okay, well, now I know that you're going to lunch. We drove the car. Okay, now I know how fast you're going. If I have a friend who's a pilot, if he said that he was driving, he might actually mean that he drove his plane down the runway. Well, I'm never going to be able to catch up to him, so it's nice to know what he was driving. Well, that is called a compliment. We drove the car. That has completed the sentence. You can say we drove it sounds okay, but it doesn't tell us very much other than you drove. And so I might be thinking, if you say, I drove, Mrs. Davis, I drove, Miss Davis, I drove, I might think, okay, they're in their car. But to somebody who owns a motorcycle, that means they got on their motorcycle. That's different. Well, that extra word at the end of the sentence, car, we drove our car, completes the sentence. We ate. Well, ate is an action verb, and it's nice to know you ate, but there are tons of things you could have eaten. We ate lunch, we ate sushi, we ate breakfast, we ate... Name something you like to eat, Susie.
Cheesecake.
We ate cheesecake. That is also something. I love cheesecake. I have so many stories about cheesecake I could tell you, but we do not have time in class. Maybe at the end of class, if we have some extra time, I will tell you a story about cheesecake. So I want you to look at the sentence on the board. Michael and Jenna ate. Give me 1 second. You need this? You need this?
That's one good.
Okay.
I think my shoes and everything.
Alright.